Hello, children. I'm back with a new lesson that is chapter 8, My Unknown Friend. So, before starting up the lesson, I would like to ask you, do you have an unknown friend? Who is an unknown friend? Do you call that person as unknown and even a friend also? Why is that? Yes, I'll tell you an incident and a story which has been shared up by our author Stephen Leoc. So, our author has written up a story where a fellow has forgotten all his childhood's friend. Of course, it will be experiencing in the future days of yours. So, you have to wait for the time to just go on, and when you grow up, and when somebody identifies you and recognize that you were one of his friend and a schoolmate or a college mate. I don't know how far you people will remember the things, but and even the people who were surrounded during your school days and college days. Exactly the same we'll be studying in this lesson, that is my unknown friend. So the author or the narrator or the speaker, he's just telling out that he would be friend of mine, but I don't remember him at all. He's a completely stranger to me now. And we'll be very much surprised to see our friends who have lost our contacts, and after many years, that may be around 20 and 10 years after your schooling or college days, if you meet them, definitely you won't be able to recognize, because they'll be changed in their wholesome part of their physical stature, even their talking style and each and everything. But if a person talks or calls you out by your pet name, nickname, or any thing, they'll be sharing what you people have done during your school days or college days, then you will be recognizing. But here is a fellow that is a main person of this story. He doesn't remember at all, but he just manages the things which will be surrounded by them, and he will just manage the things whatever the unknown friend will lie on. But here, this is the good part. But what is the further things and what is the point of view of our author, that we will be discussing in the lesson. So before starting up the lesson, I would like to move on with the introduction of the author here. So the author of today's lesson is Stephen Leacock. So he was one of the best known humorists. In the sense, humorist, it is nothing but who writes up funny stories or who makes fun out of the things. In the early part of the 20th century, he was also an essayist, teacher, political scientist, historian, and a recipient of many awards. So he has special skills and he was specialized in so many of the things what we have studied above. His writings are known for his light humor and the criticisms of human follies. Yes, so he just reminds us where we make a mistake and we blindly trust everybody. So, through humor, making fun out of the situation and making very in a type of comedy, he just conveys the message for us. But behind his humor and behind his funny thing, we should observe the serious notation what he is just giving out to the people. So that we have to understand here. So as I already told you, two friends meet up in a train, and what would be the further of the story? So let's see. Please follow me up. He stepped into the compartment of Pullman, who stepped the unknown friend of the narrator. The narrator, he was just already he has seated up in the compartment, and the another fellow who has just stepped into the compartment now. Compartment of Pullman. Pullman, it is nothing but trains where the Great Britons have started it, and it was one of the main lanes of them, and it was considered as one of the luxurious railway service which was operated in the first class compartments. and sorry, first class coaches. So this is what the Pullman is all about. Where I was sitting alone, I refers to here the narrator, one who is narrating the story for us. He had on a long fur-lined coat and he carried a $50 suitcase that he put down on the seat. So he has just come across to him long furred lined coat. So I think you can see in the picture over there, they are both of them are shaking their hands. One is sitting on the seat and other is standing and shaking up the hand. So and that fellow, the unknown fellow, he had carried a $50 the suitcase which was worth of $50 that he put down on the seat. So he has just put down the seat. Then he saw me. So after placing up the suitcase on the opposite seat, he saw the narrator. So and he started to say, well, well, he said, and recognition broke out all over his face like a morning sunlight. So by this, what we have to understand here, the narrator is very surprised to see that a man is talking to him as a and by this he just got surprised, and then by by Joe, he said, shaking hands vigorously. Who would have thought of seeing you? So I can't believe my eyes. So it's very well to see you, and all these things, dialogues would be coming on between the two friends. Oh, indeed, I thought to myself. He looked at me closely, more closely. So as of he is shaking his hand, and even the narrator also shook his hand. And later, he thought of himself, who is he and who am I talking to? And why did I shake his hand? So all these things are going in the head of the narrator. And then he was looking very closely, more closely to the narrator, as of somewhat he has just made him or known that person very well and noticeably, as of he recognized the narrator. So what the things goes on, so let's see in the next page of the lesson. I'll be continuing. You haven't changed a bit, he said, so as though he has seen and the previous life of the narrator and even the present days, and he told that his personality have never changed. So you haven't changed, so he is the same as before, whom he has seen, as he has seen. So neither have you, said I heartily. So as a formality, he just began to say, the narrator began to say that, yes, as the same, I have also not changed, and neither you have also not changed. So as a formality, he said that these dialogues very wholeheartedly. And all the time I was wondering who was he, and he has the biggest question in his mind, that who is he? I don't recognize him at all. So this is what the opinion of that fellow unknown friend to the narrator. I did not know him from Adam. So I did not know him from Adam. Adam in the sense, as of from the starting. That in the sense, I don't remember his face during my childhood or college days, whatever it may be. But he don't remember at all. I don't recall. I could not recall him a bit. So I never and ever recall him. True, I find it very hard to remember people's names. So he just said that true. I cannot remember the people's name, but very often too, it is hard for me to recall the face. And frequently I fail to recall a person's appearance. So everything is a failure for the narrator, and he is now totally confused regarding the recognition of that fellow who is shaking the hand now. And later, and he says that he frequently fails to recall the person and their appearance and even their names too. And of course, clothes are a thing of one does not notice. But apart from these details, I never forget anybody. So apart from these things, I never forget anything. So the details, everything will be stored in my mind, so I can remember the people very well. Very partially, it was said by the narrator. So what did the unknown friend do? He did not say it, and they just continued. And I am proud of it. The narrator is very proud of the things what he just remembers and what not he remembers. But when it does happen that a name or face escapes me, I never lose my presence of mind. So whenever he forgets both name and faces, he never loses the presence of his mind. But somehow he just floats up the situation. I know just how to deal with the situation. As I already told you, he knows and he is very well versed of managing the situation. We are talking about the narrator. I only need coolness and intellect, and it comes right. So only he needs to be very calm, cool in the sense very calm enough and very intellect, as though he is very intelligent to just float up or manage the situation. So everything will be fine now. So and what did he say in the further paragraphs? Let's see. My friend sat down. So the unknown friend, he sat down. It's a long time since we meet, he said. So he is just continuing the conversation as though these both are very known from many years. So it's been a long time since we met. So narrator also just joined up the rhythm of the unknown friend. A long time, I repeated with some of a note of sadness. Yes, it's been a long time. So that he is just missing him out. I wanted to feel him that I too had suffered from it. So he is just telling that, oh yes, I too also felt very bad that we had not met since from long time. But it has gone very quickly. So it has gone very quickly. What has gone it quickly? The time has passed very quickly, and the two little friends have just grown up. So this is what the meaning of this play is. Then, like a flash, I assented cheerfully. So like a flash, a kind of a flash, how it comes very faster and goes out. That's the meaning of the word here. So, or the phrase here, that the light which passes through, in the sense the time which passed through very fastly, so that he cannot remember the things. How love goes on, how life goes on, and we lose track of people and things alter. Yes, of course, when the day passes on, we grow older and we take the responsibility, the house responsibility, the work responsibility, the commitments, everything goes on. And we find very little time for our friends and the personal space too. So in all these things, we lose up the track of the people, in the sense the contact of the people whom we just studied and laughed and shared our foods, shared our emotions. Everything will just lose it. And later on, I often think about it. So he says that, yes, I usually think about it. I sometimes wonder, he continued, where all the old gang are gone. So old gang are nothing but the fellows who were just studying with them, in the sense the friend, the narrator, and even the unknown friend. So do I said. In fact, I was wondering about it at the very moment. I always find in circumstances like these that a man begins sooner or later to talk of the old gang, or the boys, or the crowd. That's where the opportunity comes in to gather he or who he is. And next, going on to the next lines. Do you ever go back to the old place? He asked. So he asked to the narrator that, do you go back to the old place? So what did he say? And the narrator said, never, I said firmly and flatly. So with it a kind of disappointment and lots of missing of his old friends, he just said that, yes, no, I did not go, because they'll be busy in their own world, na? So when you grown up, then he said very firmly and very flatly that, no, I never visited. I felt that once for all the old place must be ruled out of the discussion till I could discover where it was. So he was just wondering to find out the place where they were meeting off, chit chatting, and doing some of the other sort of things during their childhood. And then he continues, no, he went on, I supposed you would hardly care to. Not now, I said very gently. So the unknown friend, he is just telling that he himself would hardly care that where the people are, what they are doing, they are not in the contact, do they need any help. All these things are not being thought by the unknown friend, because he was just leading out a very worthful life, that he considered himself as one of our biggest and a very intelligent fellow. And the same thing has been followed up by the narrator also, and he started to say that, not now. So he did not want to go to the place where they usually meet, and they do not want the same thing to be repeated. So here particularly, if I say as they, it will be partially wrong. If I say it would be a narrator's words, it would be correct. So the narrator has said this and he don't want to visit the old place. And I understand, I beg your pardon. There was a silence for a few minutes, so everything was closed on. The first round of conversation was started, and it was very ended with a few things, and there was a complete silence for a moment. So far I had scored the first point. There was evidently an old place somewhere to which I would hardly care to go. So he says that the first point has to be scored, in the sense that has to be again, it has to be repeated, and it would. And he would say that I would hardly go, and we don't have time, and we'll be in a busy schedule always, so we never had time to meet our old place. So this was said by, or the conversation is going between the narrator and even his unknown friend. So in this, in the both the pages, we saw where the narrator was sitting out, that is a pullman, and who had come, an unknown friend. What type of dress he was wearing? He was just wearing the long fur lined coat, and he was carrying a $50 suitcase with him. So have the questions till we complete up the lesson. So till by then the revision has to be done soon. So go through with first and the second page of the lesson. So I'll be meeting you up in the next video. Till then, happy learning.